Okay then. So we're looking to finish about 8:10. So like I said, we're going to be at 10 by 9. So we'll start packing by 8:30. Make sure everyone gets some fruits or snack. Just help yourself. Alright. Richard, move from the food. Where you bucket? Watch out on the bucket. One more I take out your team. What is it about? Show us the one that bucket before they come on. Alright then. Okay then. Now then, just let you know, right, that we'll be going live in about 2 minutes. So if anybody who wants to connect with us, is Blessed Radio 1. That's live stream.
YouTube.
So please,
YouTube.
got people in Manchester
YouTube.
on YouTube. Right. So give me 2 minutes.
You're ready. You're ready.
Anyway, we're going live now, yeah, on YouTube. So we do this thing, you know. Now then, we had a heated or warm heated first off. I know some people wanted to ask some questions, right? But what we're going to do now, the second half, we're going to focus a bit more around solutions and moving forward, how we connect and move forward. Because I think the next one we're going to have end of next month, we're more likely to be in the bigger space. But this is a bit too small for us. And the work is around, you know. So, but anyway, let me ask questions. Not those who spoke first, right? How do you find discussion went, the first half? Anybody, I'm going to ask Diane.
Interesting.
What's interesting?
I didn't get the beginning, but I came in.
You came in the tail end, yeah? So what do you find interesting?
People's views about what's happening.
Okay then. Alright. Still haven't got what I wanted to. Can I ask you my sister?
I missed the first half.
You missed the first half, so you missed it. Listen, I have to pick the sister up, you know, because I phoned her today about the event. And she lives way over Redbridge. And I said, it might be too far for you to. She goes, oh man, just give me the damn passing postcode. No, seriously. You know? So, pick her up, man.
Yeah.
You know? Right. Supreme, you missed it. Was it in the first half? Who was in the first half? Oh, let me come tell this brother.
Yeah.
I know you had a question, but how do you find the first half?
Really right, okay. My name is Area Legend, and I'm in the country 1960. I can see so many changes from when we used to be one black person. And when I'm done, I decided to look at myself. So I do psychology, I do mind dynamics, and then I do everything, educate myself,
Right.
and see what happens to our people. I can't believe it. That this could happen to us. We were one people. Nobody attacked by the street with underground dances. We were there. You know, I now see what you want with knife. It is locked of knowledge. It's locked of knowledge. Nobody knows it, and we know nothing. Yay, it all disappeared.
Yeah.
No love anymore.
So the key thing is love.
It's love.
Love, no love at all. Okay.
It's a love because I didn't offer a fellow to go to school. Because it's about us as a human mind. Now when you talk about the mind, it's about the heart, the mind where it's a contract, it's conscious mind. That is what is the problem today. You do more about the mind, you can solve the problem.
Okay.
Everything coming to and straight. Either right here or wrong.
Okay, so you're talking about it's really about controlling the mind.
Yes, exactly.
It's about the mind.
Go back on your mind. Do anything about the mind, any books, you can send it mind, everything. Go on with it.
Okay.
You will solve the problem.
Okay. All right, you know that. Right? All right.
I think from our position, I think the first half was for some, it was a good start. I think we start to look at ourselves and start to discuss it. And because many minds are here discussing things, it's good because we have to start that journey somewhere.
Yeah.
So the first half was a good start for us to start to find solutions for the second half.
Absolutely. I'm glad to give Sharon a clap. If I'm point. Let me say this, that one of my great teachers, Honorable Todd Africa, said many years that if you're stupid and ignorant, there'll always be a business. And he went on and said that intelligence rules the world. And that had an impact on me straight away. Intelligence rules the world. Okay then. Sister, how you find the first album? I look upon you now.
No, you can't call me. I came at the break, isn't it? I'm waiting to hear what happened in the first half.
All right then. What we're gonna, sorry, different sister.
Yeah, so I think the first half was very interesting because I think it gave the forum for everybody to express their concerns and anxieties or issues that they have. So I think it was a good starting point to actually give the room for all of us to share what our issues are.
Okay. Come give me one. So what we're gonna do now, yes, my brother.
Yeah, and I think throughout this discussion, we're all going to have different views and opinions. I think what's vital and important is to respect someone else's view and opinion. Even if we haven't experienced what they experienced, because if we don't, we can't really grow.
That's right. Okay, then what we're gonna know, we're gonna look at solutions, right? We think it's the way forward. Okay, my sister.
It'd be good to summarise the first part, Dougie, because none of us didn't hear it, so it'd be good to summarise the first.
Just a second. I want to, Jared, let them, are you right there or you want to come around that side? Just want to bring you over there. Just go around, just bring your bring over the side. Gary, bring your chair, Gary, and just go around. That's it. Okay, so you want to hear what happened to the first half, yeah?
Yeah.
Very quickly, I'm going to ask this one and just to summarize what we said in the first half. Or call it. Or call it. Andrew.
I wrote a little list of some of the points that came out from the I'm Andrew Reed, a local resident here. Alright, some of the issues that we discussed in the first half. Absent fathers. Absent fathers. The role of the father. The role model of the father. We talked a bit about social engineering the system. We talked a little bit about exclusions and the proof, how the proof works, how it's a containment sort of thing, part of social engineering. Well, I said it the last time I worked that the young people did manage to get into college, which was a good thing, but it was still a money situation. Working with parents, effective role models. One of the things that we teach in our class on the Tuesday is giving positive feedback to your children. We're always quick to find the negative things, okay? And sometimes if we can't find a negative thing, maybe we need to make up a positive thing, you know, find it. Because we used to have a thing at work called magic moments. We used to do it to empower our workers. And the same thing you can do with your children. Every day is a magic moment with your child happening, and for you to recognize that, praise them, and see what the results are. You know, rather than going down the negative route all the time. You're this, you're that, but you know, just start with positive and leave the negative.
Okay.
Try that. But,
Yeah.
They were laughing with my man, blaming ourselves, looking at the black man, the black man always being the excuse, and Ras McCoy said that we always go to that position of blaming ourselves when it's not actually us, it's the actual institutional racism that's around us that is the problem, and not actually us as individuals. So he said, stop blaming us, as Ras McCoy said. Right?
No,
But you explain it.
But we don't want to change it, but we want to clarify that.
You want to clarify?
man, black people are only blame for
But still.
But what happened is that everybody has followed the white people program to blame the black man for everything. You understand? It's a part of the whole warfare. Blame the black man for everything.
Okay. Anybody else want to make from the first? From the first.
No. And when you mentioned absent fathers, I think I want to support what was it Ras McCoy said, because what I didn't get to explain is that even though I talked about my dad, I had to, for me to get to the point of forgiving and moving on with him, I had to understand the society he was living in back then, and then coming from Jamaica to England, fighting the police, fighting the mods, he was fighting to survive. He was fighting to survive. But when I was a child, and this is what I'm trying to get through, when I was a child, I don't know that. All I want is my dad. So it's only as I grow older and I've done my research by my Uncle Bully and everything, I found out what it was like for a black man then. Yeah? So that's why in my organisation, I only deal with black boys, African Caribbean boys and men, but I build them, I support them. I'm not here to, for me, to put down my black man, that's me putting down myself, that's me putting down my sons, my grandchildren. So I want to clarify that. So when I talk about institutional racism, I'm talking about the system, the policies, that the legislations that are there, that we have to change. But the only way we're going to change it is we rise up and get into the powers of position and start changing. That's why no one can sack me, because I am the director of Father to Father, and I'm supporting my organisation. So when we talk about positive male models, my boys will look at me and say, my dad runs that business, and he supports our community. That's what I'm talking about.
Okay then, what we're going to know, we're going to look at way forward, solutions, what we should be doing. See? So does anybody want to lead that way there? Alright, before you come restaurant, there's Jammers and then your sister there. Yes, Jammers.
Firstly, if you've got a leak in your roof, getting buckets to catch the water isn't going to be the solution. So if you've got a poison, the people drinking the poison isn't the problem. The young black guys have been the perpetrators of gun crime, but it's the manufacturers of the guns and the bullets that there's no focus on. Also, the focus is also always on the broken car, not on engaging our young black boys to progress or achieve their optimum capacity. So there's a systematic design. The next thing, recent report in the newspapers was interviewees they assessed the first 7 words that are said in a conversation to assess the economic status of a person and their social step on the ladder. So by the first 7 letters that anybody says in an interview, they're assessed on their economic status and their economic ability. So basically what it is, the language itself that is given to our young boys is putting them at a disadvantage in relation to the other people who are on the higher tier. Basically, we are
given a language of performers. The English language is a language of performing and following orders. The elite learn grammar. Grammar is the language of the sciences. All the sciences have grammar in them. All law, all the plants, all the sciences. So basically, we are already being put, our children are already, by the very words that they're trained, are being put at a disadvantage. So these are the key elements that when we want to analyse a problem, we've got to look at the factors that are causing the problem.
Okay, but what do you think we should be doing in about 30 seconds in terms of moving forward? Because what you're saying is, I'm in agreement, but we're looking at how we should move forward. So, what do you think we should do in terms of moving forward right as a community? Yeah, I'm talking to you.
Well, firstly, we've got to be, if the system is disadvantaging our child, we can't go to the system to ask for the solution. We have got to generate the solution ourselves by engaging with our youth and bringing them in with what we're doing. What I work with the young youth before they get to that stage. You show them there's a battlefield out there. All the other communities are engaging their youth for the battlefield. This is what we need to do with our youth. We need to tell them that there's a con been set up, so they're aware straight away they're not going to fall into it.
Okay.
You can say put the hand up, innit?
Oh yeah, go on. This sister, yeah, we are coming. Yes, my sister.
So, good evening. So my thing is, we run the village mentality. I'm Ghanaian, so we run the village mentality. So I'm the, as you said, I'm the auntie. I live in Ilford. The kids hate me because Auntie Fran's coming. So I'm going to put that straight out. Auntie Fran's coming, so I'm going to dash that girl over there. Hi Auntie Fran, I'm on my own. But it's that village mentality where you have to still give. You're talking a lot about the boys, but our girls are out there selling their bodies for wigs. And we had an event where it was called #Communicate, and we had girls writing questions and putting them in a box. And if I tell you some of the questions I read them, I went, what? One question: if you're not sexually active and your boyfriend wants to be sexually active, is it okay for your friend to satisfy him on your behalf? Now this is a 16-year-old girl who wrote this question, and I read it. And we had teachers there, and the teachers all were like, oh, well, you know, don't we? And I was like, no, it's very simple. You're hungry, I'm going to eat a pizza, and you're going to get food, yeah? And she was like, oh, no, I never thought of it like that. We're not teaching our children. The village mentality is gone. As the young man over there said, it's all about mine. But it's not about mine, it's about ours.
Ours, yeah.
And the problem is, even within the black community, I'm Ghanaian, I've been with Nigerians. We have this jollof war thing going on. But it's a joke, it's not, but slowly it becomes a situation. Jamaicans don't like Ghanaians. You know, and but we crucify ourselves. So we're teaching other people how to treat us. And that's my thing. I used to work in a hair shop, and I've had somebody throw hair at me for 59p and tell me, do you not want to go to the India with 59p. Yeah. But again, we teach people how to treat us because we don't know how to treat ourselves. And that's for me. I'm coming here just to listen, to see what I can take and pass on to other people. But the village mentality has to come back.
Right.
Definitely.
All right. So we talk about the village mentality. Okay. Yes, T.
I just wanted, I don't know if I heard right, because I'm really far away. Did you say Jamaicans don't like Ghanaians?
Oh. Yeah, so my ex-husband was Jamaican, and when his mom found out I was Ghanaian, her first word was, you know she used this over.
Well, you can't
No.
judge.
She's not judging. She's just as an example.
I'm saying as an example.
Yeah.
That's how I use it. Like me and my friends Nigerians, we have a fake jollof beef war.
Yeah.
Within our society, we do argue with each other. We do show, I know some Asian communities that don't get on with each other because they're different castes, but we Africans would never know because of the way they are. But with us as a people, it's very evident that we don't get along sometimes. It's very evident.
Sorry, John, in the 70s, 80s.
One second. We'll come to you in a minute. Is anybody else? We look at solutions too. We don't want to go back to back. We need to look forward at solutions.
Keep talking to each other.
Yeah.
Just really don't take it for. We've had a little discussion around of
keep talking, keep conferring, keep coming back. Even if we go off to do something, that's the only way you'll learn what's really still going on.
Just one thing that jumped in, this young lady, sorry, your name, Jessica said, my niece she started a business and she was talking to me, she said, Auntie, you know what I noticed about my age group? They don't support me. And I had to sit there and I thought, oh my God, this long time talk, and it shocked me that at her age group, I'm hearing something that I heard 30 years ago. You know, we talk a lot. We do, as black people, we do. But I don't really see what I know we're talking about solutions now, I know that. But for hearing my niece say that, it really I felt kind of destroyed a little bit. I'm thinking, oh my God, she's telling me her own age group is not supported. She goes, Auntie, I don't understand why black people don't support me.
Okay.
So that's a future thing right there by itself.
Yeah, we're talking about solution. No, just want to
and then you have to ask me, if I say
right, come now, come with solutions.
The number one thing is emotion. Number one emotion is love.
Thank you.
You understand? If we don't love ourselves, we can't treat ourselves good. You understand? And it's a mind thing like the Virgin said. If we don't love ourselves and have the mindset to love ourselves, it never works. And the Virgin also says something. You need to stop work for government and start work for yourself.
That's right.
That's right.
You understand? Because this is the problem. If you look at all of the black people in employment, when you go to hospital, remember I go down and move in the hospital, you see black people going around the desk. And I look for one of them as a doctor, I can't see none. Right? Because they have it in the job them or they want them have. And so we don't have a self-worth. Right? Them say money get the meal run. That's why them youth know that. And that's why them run after the money. And Babylon know that too. That's why they make them run after the money in the wrong way so they can go to the prison industrial complex. You understand? So we need to get money in the right way without so we need to do our own business. First of all, we have to love ourselves and we have to do our own business. You see, when we do our own business, then we can start worrying about spirituality and yeah? Because if we don't have the money, we can't do that. You understand? I will just be worrying about our day-to-day thing. There's the people who are spiritual and some rich people that take care of God in India and then kind of places and spend 6 months with some guru.
Okay, so we talk about economics instead of moving forward. Okay, give the rest of it. Go for Arda, so, you know, go for Arda. Who hasn't said anything wants to make a contribution to the moving forward? Right? Yes, please.
Yes, I just have to say, we have got businesses, but we just don't support them.
What's the way forward? Let's talk about pushing it forward.
That's what I'm saying. But
yeah.
way forward,
I don't want to go,
we support our businesses. We've got supplementary schools, we've got organisations, but look, we've got father to father. We've got people who have got things happening and very positive activities. And I heard you talking about, you know, you're helping and supporting families. Why don't we all try and find out what's happening within the communities and put some money in? We have got money. People keep talking about we as a community don't have the money. I've seen enough black people in the hair shop, in the nail shop, where we're supporting other people's businesses. So let's support them.
Okay, good. The sister then Tony after, yeah?
I think we really have to go back to basics again. I mean, it seems like it's redundant, but actually you've got to start back with the family again. Because the family has been disempowered. One, remember, we're not living in our own culture. We're living in Western culture. And Western culture has deemed that you take away the power from the parents. And that's what's been happening over a number of years. About in the last 10, 15 years particularly, there's been a concentration in taking away the power from the parents, and so that there is no discipline in the home. And once you don't have discipline, you don't have order. And that's what's happened. You've got a whole family structure that has broken down. We as West Indians have never got
West Indians.
Small island, big island, all kind of foolishness has been going on for ages. But that was divide and conquer from slavery, and that mindset has never been eradicated.
Okay, so we're talking about the family, yeah? Okay, cool. Sorry, and then you.
Yes, I want to try to make it. I don't know if you guys remember, but in this borough, we had a business people called Dyke and Dryden. They were the first millionaires. They were the first millionaires, first millionaires, export business and stuff like that. I bought the book that Wade. I bought the book and read it, and he said the biggest problem that they had was access to finance. They couldn't get money. Every time they went to the banks would not give them no money. We shouldn't be down on our communities so much, because a lot of the other communities that you see, they have access to finance. I found this out. I'm not going to say from where, from who, but the government gives them money to set up business. But we don't get access to that. Alright? Now, I don't know. Solution? Maybe somehow we have to go back to partner.
No, right? But Will said, because in fact, that system was able to get us to buy what? Houses and so forth. And with that, to go trust as well. You know? So I'm glad you brought it to the table, too. Yeah? Yes,
about solutions. So I can only talk about what we've done in Father, but also work collaboratively with other organisations. Yeah, because we have to work with others. So it's not about Courtney Brown, it's not about Father, it's about Manhood Academy, it's about Westside Leaders, it's about us coming together and working forward, moving forward that way. But in terms of Father, the first thing I realised, and I'm going to talk about boys because that's like, because I work in a school, predominantly African Caribbean boys and girls, and the key thing when I spoke to the boys, I asked them, tell me who you are. You know, they kind of tell me who you are. But when I asked them, tell me what society, the media and everything say about, you have an hour and a half discussion about all the negative things. So within Father, we first of all work on your identity, to make sure you know you're proud to be black, know your culture, and then like, give them the literacy to say I am proud, I am, not what the Eurocentric view of lazy, aggressive, and so forth, We also then work with them in terms of how do you manage your emotion, because you're going to get triggered. Your teacher's going to trigger you. That's why they want to send you out of the classroom. Society's going to trigger you. How do you manage that emotion? What strategies do you have in place to manage that emotion that you don't end up the victim? I say to them, there's battles and wars. Your war is to get that GCSE, to get the best grade you get. But the battle, sometimes you have to leave the battle. So the teacher tries to trick you. Your thing is that you want to stay in the classroom. You want to get that knowledge to get the GCSEs. So we work through them with that, so the identity. The second thing we work with them on is self-regulation, so it is the emotions. What strategies that you work through to do with that. So that's what we do in Father to Father. And we also then obviously work with, the other thing we're building is cultural competence around counselling and therapy. Because when I went counselling after I witnessed the head teacher pinning down my son, I'm sitting in front of a white lady telling me that, oh, I know how you feel. You don't know how I feel. You ain't wearing my skin colour. You don't know how I feel. So it's about getting people who are counsellors and therapists who are culturally competent that understand how I feel and what I've gone through. To pick up on that other point, we as a community are very talented and gifted. I was saying to my sister here, when my grandparents came over here, they couldn't get nothing, so they were the original entrepreneurs. Where have we lost that? Why are we looking for handouts? So, as you know, Dougie, before I did Father, I was a big time promoter. Keep big dances all over the place. That was my coping strategy. But guess what? I've used that now to actually fund for by having my own fundraising events. Yeah, so if anyone wants to know, Hilton Hotel, Paddington, I've hired out the venue, generating the ticket prices to support my mentoring program. I'm not looking to those who is against me to get funding from them. It don't make sense to me. Yeah, it don't make sense. If I do go to them, I'm going to them with a package. So this is the package. You know, like you go in Tesco. This is the beans. This is what the beans do. Do you want it? Yes. This is how much it costs. That's how I'm dealing with them. That's solution. For me, that's solution.
Right. Okay,
I might be on the wrong.
If you want to run, don't say nothing more. Huh? Don't say nothing.
What do you mean? Give a chance, no?
Yeah.
No, but you can do a solution. You see, you might run
I just heard the narrative, everybody talking about projects people are running. What I thought it was about done a knife crime. That's why it went.
Okay, no problem. Representing, yeah, you want to say something about solutions that we're for?
I want to give an analysis and then talk about a possible solution. That analysis is, I think our parents, and I say our parents, the Caribbean generation, had, as part of their values, discipline and self-sacrifice. And our generation has ditched that. We ditched it for Western values of individualism and materialism. And we have to change our values in order to start coping with our situation. In terms of politics, we talk about institutional racism and etc., etc. I don't see this community wishing to organise itself sufficiently to actually put pressure on the decision makers to make changes. I mean, there are always people who are willing to do that, but in terms of numbers, we're just not there. And that makes me think that we have to have a more small C conservative approach, which means changing ourselves rather than trying to change the system. In terms of a solution, I'd say that we need to sort of look at the partner system. We need to have a kind of a black tax where black people in work on a regular basis put money into a fund, that we can spend on different aspects of our experience in terms of business or helping the family or what have you. Now, you'd have to have people in authority to back the fund. But I think that's something that
the church do that what they now do back.
Okay. Yes, too much solutions there.
2 minutes.
Too much solutions moving forward. I want to go over the place a little bit.
Why don't we just boycott our nation and then put our money together? Why don't we just do that? It's just simple as that. It's as simple as that. Boycott other nations and put our money together. We spend the most money. So why don't we just boycott other nations? They would stop, they would crumble. They would crumble without us.
We spend the most money in Asian shops.
Every shop, Chinese.
Mainly Asian
But it's
shops.
not about boycotting, it's about actually understanding that you need to buy what is your own. Until you can change the mentality of loads of people within the community who are sitting on a fence, who have no cultural integrity whatsoever, things now go on forward. We need to get people to understand love for their own first. Because every time I'm down Oxford Street, I see a whole load of us on there. I work up there.
Okay. Well, I think, yes.
I think the major problem that we have is that we don't really have our own media. We need to change the narrative, and to change the narrative is really intelligently tackling the other side of the media, because they are feeding our young people with the negative vibes, and then they soaking it all in, and then we get the hits. So I think black organizations need to think about campaigns, media campaigns to change the narrative. Films to teach our young people is not about gangster, they can be entrepreneurs. Yeah, I think it's a solution.
Anyone who says anything wants to come? I'm going to take 2 more, 3 more, and then we get to. Yes, my brother.
Big thanks, everyone.
Big thanks.
I agree with the I agree with my brother right here.
You don't know where it is. But the main thing right now is, as you said as well, information, but information. Regardless of what everyone and anyone is saying, the house ain't gonna change if the parents don't know better. And the youth them ain't gonna change if the parents don't know what to tell them. And we can get all of these organizations together. But if we don't know, if I didn't come here, I would have known about Father to Father. If you didn't text me about this event, I wouldn't have been. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So information and linking up with one another, blood, like regardless of what it is, because we're all gonna always have different views and whatnot. But when it comes to our people, everything needs to just go out the window, get the information together, and we'll work on what needs to be done for the youth.
Journalist, okay. Yes, Journalist.
Yeah, if we're going out to produce a healthy child, that's another key element in the home. That's like in the home. Even in terms of the amount of sleep they get, that's going to affect their emotion, that's going to affect their decision making. So just on the fact of sleep, then on the fact of the diet that they have as well, they're already at a disadvantage just on health. So if we can't remember how we make ourselves healthy, how are we going to help the child? So that's another key element, is we have to learn how to produce a healthy child, and then also a healthy mind. Because in a Jewish family, at certain times of the night, they'll shut down the TV, they'll shut down social media. So they've got a resistance against the influence of the social media. So that's another one.
Okay.
You said that sister there.
Which one?
You said that sister there.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Yeah, I agree with the fact that, we need to come together. And I'm just thinking, we're in Tottenham, there's, I don't know, 50 people in this room. I'm sure in Brixton there's 50 more people in a room somewhere. Peckham there's 50 more people. Hackney there's 50 more people. We need to learn how to pull these little groups together in order to build on. We're all talking about the same thing, but I don't know how we marry up and how we connect.
Who's going to coordinate? We need
something. So somebody in your position needs to find somebody in your position somewhere else, and that's how perhaps it can be moved on. I know it's being streamed, it's on YouTube, but it's about the coordination of it all,
That's a very good question. I think we should spend time focus around that, right? How do we move from here?
Yeah.
Because my focus really, that in every 6 months, I want to host an event like this for about 1,000 people. I don't know if we can see that, that's my vision. That's Evo's vision for about 1,000 people. So the question is, we're just going to be committed to do the work, get 1,000 people out. Do you think more people should know about this?
Yes.
Definitely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
We're in little silos.
That's right. We should have a back pocket and so on, so on, so.
There's your 1,000 people there, in these different boroughs having these discussions.
So that's why I'm going this thing in, in 6 months' time. About 1,000 people. So I'm looking at the book, the Parkview, the future next month holds about 400 people. We want to get about 1,000 people passing through and getting information. See? So that's where I'm at. So I like to have a conversation with people who can see what I
say from a biblical perspective.
Don't jump you like this, sister. Sorry. Sister here, then,
Father to Father, I've never heard about you guys, but I know Man Academy. I live in East London. So when I get clients, because I'm a counsellor, school counsellor, so when I get young boys that I can't deal with because I'm a single mom, I can't see to their needs. So I didn't know about Father to Father. So I'll be like, oh, do you know about Man Academy? I'll call Dennis, send a flyer. And that's how it is. But what, as everybody's saying, there's 100 groups online. But a Ghanaian boy got stabbed in Stratford last Friday. There's a march on the 9th of November. There's been another march. We don't come together. Now I see what you're doing here. I've come from Ilford, but we have nothing like this in East London because somebody else is doing it in Barking, somebody's doing it in Dagenham. So what we need is somebody, you can be the accountability master, whatever you call it, but then you need to facilitate and find people in different areas of London to facilitate at the same day, at the same time, and bring it together. Because now I know about Father to Father, I'm like, oh brilliant, I've got another academy that I can push the boys to. And it's all about accountability, because now I'll be like, right, Father to Father, there's my own academy. So when I'm talking to my class, I'm like, did you call Father to Father? Because I need to know that they're also doing their part, but we need to do our part.
Okay, well said, my sis. Well said. Okay,
So you have to know, say, groups like this, what would I like to see is 1,000 groups like this in Alanda. You understand? I thought the same thing where we are talking now. Because we have to learn from history. Marcus Garvey had one big organization, and then take him out and the organization. Yeah. So, I have to go give them 1,000, 10,000, 1 million Marcus Garvey. So they can't move everybody at the same time.
That's right.
So you see, if you see the enemy that we face, first you have to know yourself. When you know yourself, you will start knowing the enemy. Because the enemy is the opposite side of you. Anything where you think you would do good, the enemy have to do it the other way. So in order to resolve the thing and deal with it, you have to know yourself first.
Okay, I think this will be the last question because we've got to wrap up very, very shortly.
It's not a question, it's actually a statement.
No, we're looking way forward, so you've got something to say to look moving forward.
Well, the way forward for me is, from a biblical perspective, except the Lord build a house, the labour in vain that build it. We've gone backwards, and we don't know why we're going backwards. We're actually making retrograde steps, but we don't want to go the way of the Lord. And that's one of the things that I think is missing. It's a key factor that actually was building our community when we started out in this land. We were actually an object lesson to the whole globe. Our children were perfect, our homes were perfect. We didn't have the problems that we are facing now. What went wrong? So we need to go back into the homes and get the word of God back into the homes. That's my perspective.
Okay, fair enough, Fred. Okay, what I'm going to do now, right?
Sorry, Doug, can I ask a question? Is there a journalist or any writers within this room? Who's documenting this?
There's two scribes.
What are, hands up who are writers?
I'll do a bit of magazine.
Put your hand up. There's 1, 2, 3. There's 3 writers here, yeah?
So this
4.
so this meeting will get circulated out.
Sorry?
How will I get